ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Gonzo Ewok channel with me, Gonzo.
And me, Ewok.
For another episode of
Geordie Space Program!
Probably should have checked to see if my baby was awake before we did that. She was downstairs sleeping when you came up.
I'm pleased that you managed to get the enthusiasm in that, because Gonzo's not feeling very well.
Yeah, I am rotten. My wife has been sick, my baby has been sick, and now I have been sick. I've managed about 4 hours sleep in the last 48, although last night was a bit better, so hopefully I'll be able to be on for the purposes of recording, get some energy going, because right now I feel like I'm dying.
This safe file reckons we've got 3 contracts underway.
That's very odd.
Conduct temperature surveys of the moon.
We never took that.
Launch the swivel in orbit, we've had that for ages. Yeah. And science data from space around Kerbin. Well, we can keep that.
Temperature for... We didn't take that.
I must have clicked on it by accident.
Yeah.
Right, how do I cancel that shit? Because I don't want that shit.
We want to make sure if we do cancel it, it's not going to cost us something ridiculous.
No, if you fail it costs you a lot of money.
Yeah.
It'll take 64,000 off because it'll take the advance back off.
Oh. Well, I'll still leave it with what, about 280 odd?
Yeah.
Actually, here's a point. We haven't recapped. It's been a week, I think, since our last vid went up, possibly a little bit longer. We went to the Mun a couple episodes ago, and then using this fat loot that we got from that, we went to Minimus,
and then back to Kerbin. We took a satellite to Minimus, put it in a specific orbit to complete a mission. Then we came back, put it in a specific orbit around Kerbin to get more loot, and then crashed it into the planet.
Yeah.
What we're going to do this episode is we've got this contract for science data around the Mun, which will net us 55,000. We've just discovered that we've got this one for science data around Kerbin, which will net us 20,000. Well, actually, this one will net us more than 50,000. It'll be 75,000, including the advance.
Nice.
So we'll get us a bit of money, but good science mission.
It is.
We'll bring science back.
It is.
I'm tempted to try a manned mission to around the Mun.
Do a flyby, you reckon?
Do a flyby with a manned mission.
That's
a
woman
woman mission.
It's a pretty bold claim. I mean,
well, we just got there with the satellite. There shouldn't be much problem adapting the satellite design to a ship design.
But satellites are much smaller. Much less things can go wrong on a satellite when you start putting people inside them.
Well, it is going to have to be bigger because it's going to have to lug all that heavy science equipment around. But when I built it, we had a parts limitation, which we don't anymore.
Yes.
So we can have. So
we've got upgrades.
It was, hey ladies, check out my big rocket. That's the one that we went there with. So all we need to do is make a bigger rocket for the ladies.
If there's one thing ladies like more than a big rocket, it's a bigger rocket.
Well, absolutely.
So hang on then. I'm just trying to think. This rocket that we built last time for the probe, did it have much fuel left when it came back?
It had a bit.
Because, obviously if we just take that same lifting stage and then just bung more weight on it, it might work. Is that the plan, or are you going to try and beef up the engines here?
I'm gonna beef it up a bit.
Right.
It's not going to be the same. I'm going to need to start at the top though. So I'm going to need a little service bay, and in that service bay we're going to put some of our science gubbins.
Cool.
Now we've had a problem with. Oh yeah, I've got an idea. We'll get to that.
Think things through. Think a full thought through, and say the full thought before you have the next one.
Right, one of the big problems that we've been having is whenever we try a science mission, the Science Junior always blows up on the way back.
This is correct, and we've tried some pretty weird things to try and make that not happen.
So what we're going to do this time is we're not going to bring the Science Junior back. We're going to leave it behind. That means we're going to need a scientist on this mission.
Okay.
Now, obviously, if we don't have a pilot,
we need a probe to do some of the monkey work.
Exactly, we run into a stability issue. So what we're going to do, as you have quite rightly surmised, is stick a probe on.
Now, Ewok, it's been a few weeks since we recorded. The last few episodes we did in one stint, and we haven't really seen each other since they've been going up. You've started a new job at your place of work.
I have, so I've been pretty busy with that.
And I've been travelling. I was down in Southampton for a few days. My baby learned to squeal, and then she got ill, so that's taken up most of my time.
Are you saying that it might be a bit over-ambitious?
No.
What you're trying to say?
No, I think the point that I was trying to make was, the last episodes have went quite well, and I think the reason why they went quite well was that you used the time in between us recording efficiently to practice and come up with new ideas.
Yeah, well, I haven't done that this time.
Yeah, the viewers can't see this, but what I can see, just sort of sitting to your left here, as we're recording, is that you seem to be what I suppose you could call winging it. Because you're just clicking on bits and putting them in here, and there's not much thought, effort, or testing going into this by the looks of it.
But there's no testing going into it, obviously.
I mean, so when it comes to designing a satellite, which is basically just a bunch of electronic components, you'll test painstaking, but want this to work. Now we're talking about putting people's lives on the line. You're just cobbling parts together in good old Geordie space program fashion,
more or
ready
less,
to fire up.
That's more or less what I'm doing. I think that's fair to say. That's exactly what I'm doing.
Look,
actually.
you're just hoying fuel on here. We've no idea what that's going to do to the rest of the rocket. We'll just pile this on, that on.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm making it bigger, so that's better. Yeah.
Well, now this is how we used to play. If you remember, way back at the start, we had some monstrous rockets: the Mandingo, the Red Laz. Trying to think what else we had. Lots. We went through a name of giving them quite a phase of giving them quite cute names from memory.
Mm-hmm.
There was something about a parasol, I think, or an umbrella. There was something about a penguin. This is starting to look a bit like the Red Laz. I don't want to worry you. If people didn't watch the series back in the day, or you're fairly new to the channel, you may not have seen the Red Laz.
The Red Laz was a rocket that had around about a 60% success rate on launch.
Yeah.
About 40% of the time, it would just explode on the launch pad.
It would wobble a lot. It would either take out the launch pad, or when you try to separate a stage, random parts would explode, and it's starting to look a little bit like that. I'm noticing this is getting quite expensive as well. It's probably the most expensive one we've launched in this series.
Well, this is what you have to do, because we haven't put the practice in. I haven't put the practice in.
Look how wonky they are.
Which means for this particular rocket, I'm just going to have to go for the old bigger is better approach.
That's a crying shame, because it seemed as though, given the last two episodes, actually it was coming down to being more finely engineered, more economical.
Yeah, but this is still going to work. Oh yeah, I need.
It would work under older versions of Kerbal Space Program.
Oh no, it'll work.
You reckon?
Yeah.
How confident? If you had to put a percent on it,
like 40.
That's less than half, and half wouldn't be good. Half wouldn't be good. So less than half's worse than good, worse than not good. I'm not happy about this. I don't think I can cope with this right now. I'm feeling ill, Ewok, and you're not making us feel any better.
I'm not going to put an orange coat on it, so it's fine.
Oh, that's fine. We have got a disposable scientist, have we?
No, but we can buy one.
So we're going to spend
more money, yeah.
Yeah, 20 odd grand on a rocket, and then we're going to spend probably about 60 grand on hiring somebody who very well may die 15 seconds after we've hired them.
25,686.
There. We've definitely got everything there.
I've saved the blooming satellite design as well. So our one working and engineered design has now accidentally been lost.
Has now been replaced by this monstrosity. Okay.
Hey ladies, check out my even bigger rocket.
I do like the name.
Right, so let's check out what astronauts we've got available for this mission. Madeline?
It's going to have to be. She's the only scientist there.
She's not very stupid, so she's probably going to object to getting into this rocket.
Yeah, fairly brave, actually. She's on a par with the rest of the crews. Okay, so Madeline. Straddling Madeline Curtin.
Oh yeah, the one thing I haven't done yet is check the blooming staging on this thing. So all those solids can go off at once, and then all eject at once.
Cool. What else? Right.
And I'm just gonna use the solids to carry it.
Okay.
Now, there's something not right here. So that goes. Where's that? So that needs to come down a stage, and that one needs to go up a stage, and then I need a brand new stage.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
Solids. Get rid of the solids. Liquids. part 1. Get rid of that. And start liquid part 2.
Yeah.
I'll put them in separate stages. I prefer having them in separate stages.
You love your separate stages. You could do this in like 3 if you really wanted to.
And then so that goes away and that comes on and that goes away and then it's just the
parachutes
at that point.
Cool. Okay. Yep, that looks pretty decent.
Let's stick a transmitter on just in case it doesn't make it.
That's a wonderful vote of confidence, isn't it?
Contingency plan.
So Madeline turns up at Geordie Space Command. We'll kind of introduce her to everybody, show where the toilets are, give her a work buddy, and then all
she's
of a
just
sudden,
about to take off and
somebody's bolting. What's that for? Is that so I can keep in touch? No, it's in case we're going to lose you in space, we can still get the science. Now, is this science the moon the moon science that we're collecting? Does it have to come back, or can we just transmit?
We can just transmit to complete the contract, so the contract's relatively safe. If we want the big haul, we need to come back.
Yeah, if we actually want the science points, we're going to have to bring it back.
But let's give this rocket a go. Come on, Madeline.
That sounds disgusting. Poor Madeline.
Right,
Give me the capsule.
To...
That's Jeb. That's Jeb.
Yeah, I'm going to recover this vessel.
You nearly hit the button. You were hovering. Saw you.
No, I was going to come back.
Jeb's a pilot. That would have been disastrous.
We need more struts as well. Because it wobbled an awful lot, didn't it?
It did, yeah. In the back of my head, I was thinking that could have possibly blown up the launch pad. Alright. Yeah, this is a proper blast from the past. This feels as though we've devolved about 2 years in terms of what we're playing.
I disagree because I have confidence in this rocket design.
Yeah, 40% worth of confidence.
I'm going to move that to that stage. So that I can use it to turn the rocket a bit.
Right, okay, yep, that makes sense. I mean, it worries us that that's just kind of been done as an afterthought, though. Oh well, everybody say a little silent prayer. Please pause the video for a few seconds. And hopefully you're back having said a prayer. It's... Oh, Jesus, look at it wobbling.
It's all good.
Oh no, that is upside down. Look at it.
What do you mean it's upside down?
It's gonna flip.
It's not gonna flip, I'm turning it.
That is gonna flip. We've got solar panels on this, yeah?
Yeah, we do.
That is gonna flip, but it's far too fast.
It's not gonna flip.
It is. It's not even burned half its fuel and it's already gone 400 metres a second.
It's not going to flip. It's lovely and aerodynamic. It's sexy and sweet. Oh, you said that done way too much. That wouldn't have been drowning it out. That wasn't that loud.
Well, I hope people don't particularly mind. It's just the speaker that is picking up the sound of the engines on the mic is right next to the mic, and we're not. We're sitting back a little bit here.
You see, everything's fine.
Hang on.
No, the engine blew up.
Yeah,
the engine blew up.
That would have deafened the viewers in any event because of the loudness of that explosion. That's going nowhere, mate. Nowhere. Look, all them bits shooting off. That was 25 grand, that.
Okay, I think I know the problem.
Yeah, the engine exploded.
Well, yeah, the engine did explode a bit. That is a problem.
Can we go anywhere with this?
Well,
we're quite high up. Can we try and go somewhere and get some science, maybe?
Well, if we bring science back from the orbit of Kerbin, then I think we've got science from space around Kerbin as a mission. And then we can iterate on this design.
Now,
I think I just need to move those solids further down so that when they
explode behind it,
they explode a little bit further behind the rocket, and
rather than
all around on the rocket, yeah,
through it.
So that'll be fine. That'll work.
This is going to take forever, mind, because that's a wuss engine.
Yeah, it's not going to take forever. I'm just going to get us into space above Kerbin and then zip back down.
Oh, right, okay. So
there's no point in getting the orbit. We just need to.
Oh, that's okay. And so yeah, that'll be nice.
And then we may be able to pick up another contract to fill that space, because I think we can only carry 3 contracts at the moment. So it'll be a sort of successful mission. It'll be 50% successful.
40% maybe. It'll be 40% worth of success. All right. Let's have a look here. All right. There is a new patch due out for Kerbin KSP soon.
Is there?
1.2. Don't think it's adding anything new by way of content, but a lot of bug fixes. So, we have had a few in the past few episodes.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if they're bugs that are being looked at, but there's quite a bit going on. One of the other things that I think will be quite useful is the contract system. The new update is going to make it so you get more logical progression with contracts,
which would be good. And it's going to take into account if you've got a space station up. Is that right? It'll give you stuff to do with your space station.
One of the things that I read was if you're if you say for instance are rejecting loads of dual contracts, it'll give you less of them because it'll be clearly they don't want to do that. Whereas if you're taking lots of Mun ones, it'll keep firing lots of say Mun stuff at you.
Oh, that's good.
So it'll be interesting to see how it works out. Hopefully, by the time it actually kind of hits a public playthrough, it'll be fairly well balanced. But I think that'll be quite handy, certainly for the sort of the narrative that we'll have with our series anyway. Because
I'm a little bit worried that we are inside the atmosphere here, so I better get back in that shit.
Get in sharpish. There we go. So I think that'll be quite handy for us because if you think of say the previous series, we're constantly getting even June and Juna stuff, and we're doing bits, but then every episode turned a 4-parter, and it was 3 hours long while we fired ourselves over to Juna or tried to. So it's quite nice where we can have a little bit more focus, I suppose, on specific planets. Also trying to do more stuff with the biomes, I think, in the different planets and bodies. Trying to make them a bit more interesting. So,
to be fair, there's only a few that have biomes at the minute. It's only Minmus, Mun, and Cursor that have biomes.
But I think one of the things that we're talking about is bringing in some sort of scanning part, similar to what you can do if you're looking for stuff to mine. But you can search for things of interest on the planet. So it might be things like the Easter eggs if you want to visit them. For instance, we might not know where they are. We could scan the planet and find them, and then actually land and have a bit of a look. So that does
sound good. That does sound good. I've not been keeping abreast of it because I've been flicking between so many different games over the last couple of weeks.
I've got next to no gaming in, mate. I just played half an hour of Company of Heroes 2. That was on sale through the week. I picked that up because I didn't mind the first, and I heard mixed things about the second one. You could get all of it for about £15. So I thought I'd pick that up and played it about half an hour of that before you came here the day, and it was alright.
Incidentally, I haven't ejected the stage because I figure we've got so much fuel. I can use the fuel to slow us down, recover more of the rocket, and save us a little bit of cash on this aborted mission.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. Sorry, guys, I'm yawning my head off here, trying to stay awake.
Oh, bless. Sick kid.
Aye, it's horrible.
Well, I'm sorry this has been a bit of a bust, but I think you'll agree that the rocket has promise. We just skipped the testing phase, which is always a problem, a worry.
We skipped the planning phase as well, if you remember. It was just a case of you throwing this shit together. And
basically I saw that contract was there, and I thought, that's a good contract for where we are and what we're trying to do.
This is true. Yeah, I think at some point I'd like to get legs. I think legs would be handy. I'd still like to do something with Fairens. I have been saying that for well over a year now, but I would like Fairens. I'd like legs. That would be good. It's coming down. That is coming down, mind.
Yeah, but the parachute's just deployed, so it's all good.
Aye.
See? Piece of cake. Brought most of the rocket back.
If it falls over and dashes her on the surface of the water, I'll be very upset.
It shouldn't do, not with the...
It all fucking broke anyway, didn't it?
It did all break.
Oh well,
literally everything below the decoupler. Although on the plus side, I was about to say on the plus side we did bring the decoupler back, but then Gonzo reached across and pressed the spacebar on the keyboard, thus destroying the decoupler. So any additional finances that would have come back.
Did we have a crew report? Did we bring? We got 6 science for that.
We got 6 science. Yes.
That's what, $4,000 per point of science,
but
just for the rocket.
But we got 20 grand in completion rewards. So really, it only cost us 5 grand.
It nearly paid for itself.
Nearly paid for itself. Plus an extra 3 science for that. So we actually got 9 science.
Okay. I mean, that's still not great, like.
So what you're saying is that you're not really happy with the performance in this episode?
No, I think that's been terrible.
Well, we'll come back and we'll fix the rocket and we'll do it again. But right, this was the test flight, and it was a successful test because it highlighted a significant and perhaps insurmountable problem with the rocket.
It's a ridiculously expensive test and there's no need for it.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Geordie Space Program, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you'll agree we are back to form, and we'll see you next time.
Bye!